Welcome back to another episode of the M3 podcast. It's your host, Brianna Danielle. If you haven't been here in a while, welcome back. I took a little bit of a pause and I know that I needed to come back here because a lot of people have incredible messages to share. And Gregor and Leah are two of those examples because I was in the middle of this pause and told them, all right, let's get you back. Let's start the show. I'm really happy to be back as well because their story is just, again, very inspiring. These two are really incredible humans that I've gotten to know and love throughout the community of Pacific Beach. And if you haven't yet been around to one of the Purpose First Beach cleanups or get to know their new company that's called Organic Labs, then I want you to listen to this episode and get started with us as a community working on our better health and better environment. So welcome to the show, you two. I'm so happy to have you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Honored to be here. Thank you again.
So I just wanted to say I've known Gregor for a long time, many years as a community member here. Just Purpose First Beach cleanups is huge in Pacific Beach. If you had an opportunity to be a part of the inspiring bonfires that we get to do, which we're cleaning up the beach and then getting some fun and activity after, maybe even a beach movie night. Maybe there's activities and fun and games with LSKD blenders. You've had many sponsors come and be a part of this. So I'm just, again, really stoked to have you be in this aspect of health and awareness with the environment. But I also know that, Leo, you too, you come from a background with business and sales too. So to have that as a business meets impact and to integrate it together, the two of you are a very awesome dynamic duo. And Leo, I've gotten to know you just recently as well. And I'm so happy that you two have connected. But I want to hear your story and your background as to how you two met and where you two came from. So if you can, Gregor, share a little bit of your story first, and then Leo, tell me your story as well. And then the two of you explain how you two got connected and started Organic Labs.
Absolutely. So, hello everyone. Anyone that hasn't met me before, I'm Gregor, and yes, I originally started Purpose First Beach Cleanup, which is the first reason why I was here in the first place, and had the honor of being on your amazing podcast. Thank you so much for what you do. Everything that you do, the broadcasting of these true values that help unify us it's amazing. And I'm honored to be here. And to be here with Leo it's incredible. So I just wanted to take a deep breath and say thank you. It's a pleasure. It really is a pleasure. So
For that.
as far as us creating Organic Labs, this is all very, very new. I'm beyond excited for this. It's been in the making for 6 years, and we finally did it. We have made the USDA organic approved testosterone booster. It's here, and we've only launched about 2 months ago. So, a little bit of backstory on that is I had the pleasure of meeting Leo at one of our last jobs, and he taught me how to do sales. I had never done sales before in my life, never done a one call close, which is the most difficult. And I started learning how to do home improvement and remodeling from Leo. And Leo was with me when we were doing all of these sales appointments, and I watched and learned from Leo, and I had the opportunity to see the magic happen. And Leo is incredible. And I got the pleasure of working with all these different sales reps. Leo was one of the youngest, if not the youngest. I know it looks like he's my age and everything, but I beat him by like 8 years. So his intelligence and his skills and his capacity is well beyond his years. And so when I met him, I was like, wow, great. His aura, you know what I mean? The energy is very powerful. And you can recognize that when meeting somebody. And then I then got to go on appointments with him. And in these sales appointments, I had never done this before. Super nervous. And I just sat down. I did our company story is what it's called. And I just, went through everything. And then I basically kind of just listened, watched and learned with Leo. And it was amazing. He taught me so much. We got to work together. And afterwards, there was a bit of time when I started building this into a company, Organic Labs. And and then I kind of sorted out who I wanted to partner with. The most important question for me was, who should I trust with this? And I came to the conclusion of only trusting my family and only trusting Leo, which is quite a compliment, I would say.
Thank
And
you.
what's amazing about that is we have gone and already done so much together. But it's amazing because I've had the opportunity of building something with a new friend, but someone that is just so talented. I'm just like, he teaches me so much and in a realm of business that I didn't know very much about. And so I'm just honored to work with him and to see what we've done so far. It's very, very exciting. So maybe you have a
Thank you so much, man.
different take on it.
No, I mean, thank you so much for the kind words. Obviously, I mean, where do I start? I learned so much from Gregor. Meeting Gregor was definitely kind of like sometimes you need some people in your life that you don't really know that you need it, and then they come around and you actually realize how much you should be grateful for meeting them, right? And how much you should appreciate them. And definitely Gregor for all of his background, from the Marines to running Purpose First to doing something so good for the community, being this person for Pacific Beach and San Diego in general. Definitely something that for my younger age and coming from another country, I didn't really see that back then yet, right? Didn't really like realize the importance of it, right? And that obviously goes around networking and meeting new people and how you treat people and who you are in general. So definitely meeting Gregor was yeah, maybe one of the best things that ever happened so far, man.
Appreciate you,
So
bro.
and yeah, being in this new venture in this new business with him and running life together as of now, you know, between working out and working together and running a business together. Yeah, it's been just amazing. So I'm Leo, by the way. You know Leonardo, but go by Leo. Okay. I'm originally from Italy. I moved out here when I was 18 years old. I started off as happened to be an exchange program, supposed to be for just 2 3 months between school years in high school, and then yeah, just again, got grateful. I won a scholarship, so end up doing a full school year for my senior year over here in the United States, which I could have gone anywhere in the United States, but happened to go to Oceanside, and then had to go back because of COVID. Little thing that happened, so they sent me back, and then even back then, though, I realized that I like the United States, especially California, a lot, much more dynamic compared to the 16,000 people town that I grew up in, you know. So just opportunity wise and just meeting new people and just seeing new faces. Obviously, on a smaller town, don't see a lot of many new faces coming around often. Okay, so I was definitely like attracted a lot by San Diego, by California, and that pushed me to come back. And from there, I, you know, during COVID, didn't have a lot of paperwork to stay in the United States and such. So I just knocked doors down in Italy, tried to find another Italian guy that was willing to offer me a job. Started off as a busser for about a year or so, and then started working in constructions and moving to sales. And then sales was and has been so far quite the adventure for me. I didn't expect to, in a positive way and like in a grateful way, to come this far in sales. My first like 6 months were really hard, yeah, especially like in a second language. And obviously, I would say what if I learned anything so far on sales is it can be interpreted in two ways. That either can be like the art of communication or the art of manipulation, and I've seen it both sides. You know, especially how people run businesses, and yeah, just meeting people throughout the years, I realized it can be both ends. And obviously, I've decided to stick with the art of communication, right? And and that's where 6 months in, something just click. I know sometimes people say something like clicks into sales, and then you start selling. Not really sure what. I would say that our mind sometimes works in really interesting ways, and something has definitely like click in my mind, and then just start selling a lot and selling like consistently, especially again on a one call close system, which is you know, shake your hand today, nice to meet you, and then either you're signing a contract at the end of 2 hours, or you just a pitch miss, you know, and kind of that person got lost in the thoughts, you know, just gone, and you move on to the next one. So there is no like follow ups or anything like that. So yeah, I got mentored by some great employers that, to be honest, I'm really really grateful. They like raised me, you know, into this person that I am nowadays, as far as goes with sales and communicating with people, and different ways that you can come across, right? And then farther down the line, that just led me to obviously meet Gregor through our old job. And yeah, we're definitely people that goes to the gym and like to lift, right? So yes, so we both bonded onto that, and you know, just two normal guys start going to the gym together and start getting to know each other. And obviously, you know, you have Gregor on the podcast already, but as you can tell, he's a really good guy, right? So, so we started again. We just started sharing like values and sharing goals, and you know, just you do that with some people and some people not. And I would say like between each other came way more natural, and just came into like growing our rapport and our relationship over time. And that simply led to I had a time actually that I had to go back to Italy for about a month, and then just our relationship led to a call out of the blue from Gregor of wanting me to talk about something. Right, pick up the phone. Nice.
Thanks for picking up.
Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
So that simply, you know, I was like, I'm really interested. I'm really interested. What do you want to talk about, right? Because again, I know, again, I look up to Gregor obviously for everything he's done throughout the years, right? I'm not a person that ever has joined the military in general or any armed forces, and for me, that's definitely like a big thing, okay? Especially because you kind of you kind of grew up in it like in a certain way, right? And they form you in a certain way. And obviously, Gregor carried this value throughout the years in such a positive and like leading by example way. So that's yeah, got me really really excited. And then the opportunity about creating organic labs came around, and launching the first USDA approved test booster for men. So for me, it was the kind of the marrying two things together. One is like the sales background that I have, and then the like health and wellness and just everything that goes around like taking care of yourself. And so I saw this working out in an extremely good way. So yeah, just super excited about that.
I just want to, if you, the listener, are right now kind of like, okay, I feel the relationship, I feel the bond, I can see that they really care about each other, just feel the genuineness of it too. One thing that I noticed here is that we are talking about sales, and it can sometimes feel a little forceful with sales, phony with sales, right? People get this type of resistance from having sales thrown in their face. And I just want to tell you, it's in your face everywhere you go, on the sidewalk, in the streets. If you are at Costco, it's in your face everywhere you go. And for me, the coach, guess what? I'm in sales too. And every person, if you're doing a beach cleanup, you're in sales too, because who's fundraising for all of this? Who's funding all of this? It has to come from some source. So if you are getting yourself out there and you are putting yourself on the like just out in the open for the people to hear you and hear your message, and you're consistent, you're going to have success with whatever it is that you're trying to market or put out as a sale. And that's completely normal. If you are making a promise to a partner, guess what? That's a sale. If you are making a commitment to yourself, a pledge to yourself, that is a sale. So you are constantly selling to each other, to yourselves. And I just want to put that perspective as you, the listener, noticing that sales is so important to learn. It's a key ingredient to a successful business, but it's also a key ingredient to really good integrity in this world. And I think that if you can sell a person, that you can also have with confidence to make a big change in this world. So I that's just me and my take on there. But if you two have any obstacles that you can share or any adversity that you can share where sales hasn't always been that glamorous, and where you have come from it and you're like, gosh, we're still here showing up because we believe and we care, I would love to hear a little bit about that too.
Yeah, I have a little something that it was very challenging for me at first with the conviction, the call to action, closing. Normally, it's hard for almost all of us new sales reps to learn the close and ask for the sale. And what helped me get over that is reading books. I mean, I, I listened to Zig Ziglar, who is, the godfather of sales, really. And he walked around door knocking and and got a lot of no's and got comfortable with the no's and got used to the no's, got over the no's to get his first yes. And you have to ask. You need to ask. And most likely, you're going to have to ask more than once. Most likely, you're going to have to ask more than 3 times to get the sale. And
They say it's 5.
yeah,
They
they
say
say
they
they say
say.
it's 5, and sometimes sales are made after number 10. But I don't know. Maybe once you're asking 11 times, maybe you get up. Leo, I would say is a prodigy. I would say he's a young legend in sales, and still teaches me almost daily. I'm learning a lot in a plethora of different ways. I'm learning advertising. I'm always learning more nutrition and more science because that's my passion. That's in my heart. And sales is, I think of it as an art. It's really, now that I've read, I believe, about 10 different titles on sales, about them being conversations, the successful ones. Conversations, the art of persuasiveness, and framing, the power in framing, the power in asking questions versus being the one that's answering them. If you answer a question with a question, it's a power move. And it can almost seem asinine. It's like, why would you answer a question with a question? It's like, well, sometimes that's the best thing to do in sales. You're not there to answer their questions at all. You're they are either going to have that answer, or that idea that you maybe implanted in their head or that they already had. You're just going to try your best to help them trust you. And if you're able to succeed in giving them that trust, the feeling of trust in that moment, then it'll go through. And the hardest part of what I had to learn was closing. And I think that in my younger years, I had normally wanted people to like me. I enjoyed making friends, and I enjoyed having friends in the room, really, and having people like you in the room. Not saying things that are not myself or not genuine to myself, but just being nice. And being nice does not get you sales. It doesn't pay the bills. Being nice doesn't pay the bills. So learning that call to action here, signing today, saying those words today, The homeowners don't like that. I told you I'm not doing anything today. I literally said that before you came in and sat at my dining table, and you said okay, and then you're saying it again, and saying that signing today, Gregor, I don't think you're listening. And it's like, no, I am listening. I'm just trying to do my job. That was the hardest part for me, no matter what. I naturally was able to do a warm up, is what we call it in sales. It's like it's like meeting someone, you know? You're meeting someone for the first time. You meeting somebody for the first time is going to be you're going to be yourself. You're going to introduce yourself. You're going to warm up on your own naturally. That doesn't have to be taught. You know, you can go make friends or start a conversation. Inserting a problem into someone's mind is also challenging, but I was always able to insert the problem, the need, the urgency for them to fix their house or improve it or fix the stucco cancer on the side of your house. Do you see that? Do you know what that's called? Creating that problem, and then the urgency, and then leading them to the solution, but not selling something. Just encouraging, this is here for you in case you would like it. There is a solution, and this is a solution, and it's always your choice. It is always your choice. What's best for you is what's most important. And that in itself, that was not too difficult for me. But the close, there were months where I was just beating my head against the wall, wondering with this, how am I gonna just? I mean, I'm getting no's, which is a good thing, but they're not saying yes, and that's kind of what I need to pay rent. So how do I, Leo? Can you help me out here?
Yeah. Well, if I can, yeah, if I can touch on something you said something about that sales is everywhere, you know, and I truly believe that. I think that people don't like to hear that sometimes, but I feel like you're selling yourself every single day, no matter what you do, no matter what profession you're into, no matter what action you're taking during the day, whether you're just maybe talking with somebody that you're just meeting, or maybe you're at your job, or maybe you're trying to schedule an interview, it doesn't really matter, you're submitting a new resume. And I think like a lot of people, they just don't realize that it's not like the sale is not like a transaction, but it's more like building a rapport, and ultimately it's the exchange of values, right? Like I can bring this to the table, right, that will help you, and obviously you getting something back. And there is just an exchange of values, right? And how we present ourselves, how we take care of ourselves, how sometimes it's just going to the gym, or our diet, or reading books, or just everything that goes around that. It's just building up ourselves, and what is the value that we can bring to this world, to the marketplace, right? Because at the end of the day, the world goes around a market, right? That obviously right now the currency it is money, right? But that will not go around if there are no people. So bottom line is that I think people ultimately, whether they like it or not, but they get sales every time. Either they sell or they get sold, and not in a good way or bad way. That just the exchange that happens throughout the day. Grabbing a coffee, or you go into Walmart, and next thing you know, it's buy one get a half off, and you're walking out with two pair of pants that you didn't even think that. Oh, but I got one for half off. Yes, but you pay for one and a half. Just like that's just how it is. And so that really like attracted me and intrigued me a lot, because it really goes behind the like psychology of ourselves, and how people do take their actions, right, on literally on a daily basis, right? It's simple as going to the gym. There is an exchange of it, right? It makes you feel better, you start looking better, right? It takes effort, that's why you giving in, but what you're taking out is everything, the plus out of it, right? So that's yeah. That's why, like for me, like sales is just I don't to to an extent I don't really see it as sales. I just see it as just an exchange that we all make throughout our days, and that has to be some value in it. And the better you can come across, or the more you start like leveling up, then the higher the value it is. The higher the value you can bring to the marketplace, and then the higher kind of like grounds you can go to. And usually, like, if again I learned anything so far, is that you meet people in common ground to bring them to a higher ground. You cannot just be at a higher ground and trying to pull somebody up. Usually that doesn't work. So you meet them on common ground, then to level up, and then to bring into some other, you know, realm or some other ground or some exchange of just values and principles and everything else.
The image that's coming into my head is just imagine a little kid getting yelled at by a parent, right? And they're standing and they're going, "Mar, mar, mar," with their finger in their face. Or the parent can go down on a knee and get to the kid's level and communicate with them and relate to what's going on and explain the manner and why there's a yes or a no behind their decision to parenting. So I think of the relatability, getting on that ground level, all of that is very, very true. And I think that this relates to the health aspect of why you two are together in business for Organic Lab. So I just want to go back into this business that you two have created, what it's all about. Can you give us some explanation onto the products that you sell, what the benefits are, and how you can help people with your mission too? And what is your mission? I'm curious.
Yes, absolutely. So, Organic Lab's mission is to provide the cleanest supplements that help folks live better, really. The most simple thing ever. Something that our grandparents would be proud of, really. It's just kind of bringing things back to the basics. We want to help people live better. And in the world that we live in right now, it's a challenge. Living better is a challenge. Our food typically is not clean. And when I say clean, I mean is not free of chemicals or pesticides or things that are not natural. So, being able to provide access to natural ingredients, that's a huge thing for us. Providing Organic Andro, the first USDA organic approved testosterone booster to everyone around the world. That's something that I've wanted to do for 6 years now. I've wanted this product for myself. I've wanted this for my dad because it hasn't existed. I feel like most of us, we create something because it's a problem we try to solve for ourselves, or it's a problem that we try to solve for someone close to us, a loved one. My dad, he has really high stress. And he's had really high stress for a long, long time, decades. And he's worked really hard jobs, very demanding physical jobs. And he's done construction, heavy equipment, excavating, everything under the sun with big machinery, and he's done it. And it's a lot. If you've ever done construction, it's very hard. You're dealing with a lot of different moving parts, things that can hurt people. People's lives are at stake. So I wanted to help him lower his stress without the catch of having a side effect, having things that are not natural, having a preservative, binders, glues. There's so many things typically that I see in our supplements nowadays that I'm not okay with putting in my body. And I don't approve of my dad putting in his body because normally my dad wouldn't read the ingredients. And that's, I think, dialing that back, we're filling a hole that shouldn't really be there. Organic Labs shouldn't have to be USDA organic approved, but we are. The reason that we create this space is because most of what's offered is not organic. It's 94% of the food consumed in America, off the top of my head, 94%, you can quote me on this, is inorganic. 94%. That means almost all of the food that all of us have access to is not organic. And what does that mean? It means that it is allowed to have less quality for water, and it's allowed to have chemicals in it, used on it during the cultivation harvest process. It's allowed to have things sprayed on it that are not natural to control pests. Those have side effects. Those are not natural. We're we're filling a space that technically shouldn't be there. Our great grandparents didn't have to look for organic products. They didn't. They just looked for beets, and the beets were produced without having pesticides on them. But now we have to find the USDA organic approved stuff to know that there's little to no chemicals used in it. So it's like, well, yes, we're filling a hole in the market. We kind of shouldn't need to, but we really do need to do this right here and now because accessibility, although we have everything at the touch of our phones, accessibility to USDA organic stuff is not the greatest. 6% of our food that we eat is organic. That is not very good. But what's really great is the USDA organic market is growing so fast. It's growing faster than 5% per year, which is fantastic. That's crazy growth. So we just want to help people have access to organic supplements. Our first one is just USDA organic approved, a testosterone booster. It helps you lower your stress. It helps you get better sleep. It also boosts your testosterone because of the ingredients in it. The ingredients that a lot of folks know that do help boost your testosterone are all well and good. But what's even more important than that is lowering your stress first. Lowering your perceived stress, lowering your cortisol. So if you can lower that with ingredients, organic ashwagandha, a good amount of it, at least 500 milligrams, if you're lowering that, you're going to be able to boost your testosterone. You're going to be able to because your stress is low. There's only room for one of those things. It's either stress or test. You can't have both really high. It's not possible. So you either have really high stress and you need a Snickers, you know, or organic andro without all the sugar, or you have to do that. And that's another thing that we deal with a lot is we're dealing with a 99% market that normally is all hype. It's all hype. Take this test booster, boost your test. It's like, okay, well, what's in it? Things that boost your test. Okay, is there anything in it that helps me lower my perceived stress or cortisol? Why would you need that? Okay, well, you kind of don't understand how it works. You you also need to exercise daily for 20 minutes. You should eat non-processed food, organic food, if you can. And you should be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. So that way your body can maintain the production of your hormones and maintain a good balance for your body. And your body will determine what is optimal for it if you're doing the right things. And if you're doing the free things, sleeping, and obviously organic food normally costs a little bit more, yes, but the exercise is free. You can do exercise at home. If you're doing those good things, those three paramount things, you're going to be able to lower your stress naturally. The ashwagandha will help you get the edge. And yeah, you'll be able to boost your testosterone, which is incredible for muscle building. Your drive, your energy is tied to testosterone. And for women, that's a master hormone for you guys as well. Progesterone and estrogen, they come from testosterone. Judging on how much your total testosterone is in your body, that's what your body has to choose to make estrogen and progesterone from, even as a woman. So there's just so much misinformation out there, you know? That's why 99% of the testosterone boosting, supporting market is hype. It's like, okay, well, Those things should be organic. The ingredients in there should be organic. There shouldn't be any proprietary blends. I should know what's going in there. It should be labeled. Patent your product so we know exactly what's in it and we can read it for ourselves. Otherwise, we don't know how much each thing is in there. Just because you're listing 5 ingredients in your matrix blend, we don't know what's all in there. And none of it's organic in the first place, so we don't even know how much is in there or how it's going to affect us, short term or long term. It's like, okay, there's a big question mark, and you're just trying to sell me on hype. So we are trying to help improve and innovate this market, make it a healthier market, throw it back to where our ancestors are proud of us for producing something and bringing as much value to the market and to the customer as possible. And that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
I love the idea of ancestral, like you said, just going back. If my grandparents were eating organic before it was cool, and it was like the norm for everyone to be that way, not to have it be such a hard resource to get to. So to be able to make this accessible to people, I think that's great. And I want to ask why it's so important for people to naturally boost their testosterone, because I know so many people who take testosterone and struggle with the need to keep up with it, because I've heard that once you're on it, you can't get off of it. So I would love to hear, maybe some examples of how this can benefit somebody who is thinking about taking testosterone, male or female, because I know that this can be for both. If you're premenopausal, a lot of women are actually looking at taking testosterone as a way to help with their symptoms. So just to give you some perspective and, help me understand a little bit more. I know why, but I would love to hear from you why it's so important for people to do this naturally and through this supplement.
Absolutely. So I'll take the first half of this. So you don't want to disrupt your body's natural production of hormones. You don't want to disrupt its maintenance of the hormones either. So if you're to replace anything, just replace it, replace the test that your body produces. Well, okay, you will increase the level that your body has in it, but you're going to decrease what your body should be producing on its own. And that will lead to something that's permanent. So your body is incredible. If we're healthy, our bodies are adaptive. If we are doing good things and we're healthy and we're feeling good, our bodies are very, very adaptive to all the stimulus that we provide, internal and external. So if we are to lean towards, let's say that we're experiencing some low testosterone, we're experiencing low test, and we're a guy or a girl, but we have low test and we want to boost it. What we want to do is boost it naturally first, so that way we're not screwing up our system for the long run. Because we most likely are in this for the long run, and we want to be here as long and as healthy as possible with the highest quality of life assumed. It's basically, I want to live the best life and I want to live the longest life possible that's healthy. That's really just assumed here. And with that assumption, it's like, okay, so naturally your body, it should be healing on its own and it should be producing things on its own. If it's not, and you're seeing a symptom, or you're seeing a symptom of a deficiency, and deficiency leads to disorder, and disorder leads to disease. And we all know what disease leads to. So all those D's, they're not good. And they all spawn from some kind of deficiency. It's always a deficiency that we don't know about. Could be deficient in nutrients or vitamins and minerals. We could be deficient in something super simple like sleep. Your body can't repair itself if you don't get a good amount of sleep every single night. 7 to 9 REM cycles on average, because all we have is averages to play with here. So if you're to replace your testosterone, your body's going to adapt to the replacement. It's going to say thanks, nice, and it's going to stop producing as much as it was already. It wasn't producing an adequate amount as it is, but instead of looking at the root of the problem here, you just looked at the effect. You didn't look at the cause, you only looked at the effect, zeroed in on the effect, boosted up some tests, shot it up, or what have you. Testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, you're going to end up having to take it for your entire life because, yes, your body is so adaptive that it doesn't need part of the system to produce something. It will allow it to fade away and die because it's so adaptive and efficient. It's like we don't need it anymore. We got it. Gregor's taking testosterone replacement therapy every day. We're good to go. I'm not going to produce anymore because I don't want Gregor to have harmful effects of it. Still moderates your level or tries to moderate your optimal level of testosterone. And so it will then compensate. Your body will compensate. It's like, okay, now I don't produce that much on my own. I'm good to go with all this that we're shooting up. Okay, cool. Well, good luck having sex in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and all that, because you are not going to be having sex unless you're taking a shot of testosterone, and that could impact your quality of life in the long run. So it's like your risk to reward. What's the risk to reward? Well, it may be harder to find the root cause of the problem, or it may take a little bit of time in the process to find this. Do a little research. Maybe find a second opinion. Maybe go to a nutritionist or a dietitian versus just a doctor that is maybe recommending just Viagra or something along those lines. If there isn't no end, there isn't a route to getting off of a pharmaceutical, if there isn't a plan to get off of this in a certain amount of time, to get onto something natural and actually fix the problem, fix the issue at hand, the reason for this effect, then I think that we're asking the wrong questions here. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I would say, looking from a little bit also my background, right, and obviously coming from another country, definitely the approach onto like health and approach onto just how what usually like people take over here in the United States compared to like even Italy or just Europe. Let's start off by first of all saying there are many different regulations as far as it goes with food in general, right? I mean, simple as Starbucks, there are some dyes into some drinks in the United States that are completely unavailable, not allowed, or so-called illegal, right? Because they're not up to the the standards, right? That are simply not allowed in Europe, right? So, and we're simply talking about drink from Starbucks, right? So when it comes down to testosterone, when it comes down to balancing your hormones in general, definitely I've definitely noticed in the United States that there's a lot of powerful things that can actually like fix things, right? But there is always this like almost is like a double-edged sword, right? You get something, but you always kind of have to get something in back to it, right? That a lot of time it just yeah you get this plus, but it's taking away a lot of it's taking away a lot from you. That a lot of times comes down to longevity and comes down to like how much can you last by doing that, right? And obviously, Gregor pulled the example on Viagra, right? And it's something like that. It's like, is it really sustainable? Not really. I mean, if the bottle is empty, you're not gonna have a great night. That's how it is. Just the TRT injections, right? Obviously, I know a good amount of people, right? They're on that, and it's like, man, I'm feeling great. That's awesome. But the thing is that if I take away the little bottle from you, you just you just lost it. You're not gonna feel awesome. I'm gonna ask you the same question again 2, 3 weeks from now. You're not gonna be the same person. You're not gonna be as happy. You're not gonna have the same drive. You're not gonna have the same energy. You're not just gonna be the same person because again, you're just replacing it, right? You're not supporting anything that is not natural, that is already working within our bodies. You're just replacing something. So for us, tied into obviously like Organic Andra and the product that we have, it was something that we actually want to fill in the gaps and actually like help supporting our system and our balance of hormones that we all have in our body without having kind of going into the route of replacing something, but just helping it, just supporting it in a good way, and especially in a way that by being organic, right? It's good for you in the long run. And it's, I would say nowadays it is hard. I put myself first, but it's hard to think of a year from now. It's hard to think about 3 years from now, 5 years from now, needless to say, 10 years from now, right? If you're lacking on something, or just in general, people want things from today to tomorrow, right? You want to feel better right away, right? I mean, right now, New Year is, obviously like kind of coming up. Every single year, people make like New Year resolutions, right? And everybody start going to the gym first week. First week, can't even park the car in the parking lot, right? And then I think there is, I think anybody can type it into Google, right? There is like National Quitting Day, which is like, I think January 7th or January 9th, right? Is because then people just, it's not the problem that they tend to quit, but they don't see the result right away. And it just simply just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't, for anything that we do, whether it's like work or going to a gym or even reading a book or helping our hormonal system within our body, it's not something that can change from today to tomorrow. And if it does, then there is a catch somewhere, because just things do not happen from today to tomorrow. And obviously, again, for us and launching like this product, we wanted something that, yes, supports the testosterone, helps you sleep better, lowers your stress, right? But also is everything that goes around it, right? We never ever thought that this is like a magic pill, magic capsule. You take it and boom, your life is gonna change, right? It will. It will slowly improve, right? Within the first like couple of weeks, you can see improvement in your sleep, right? Your quality of sleep start getting way better, right? That obviously means also it's gonna lower your stress. You're gonna start feeling better. You're waking up already in a different mood, right? There is a saying, you woke up in the wrong side of the bed. This makes you wake up in the right side of the bed, right? So even like with that, we wanted to have something that again, it just goes around it though, that helps with the concept about you taking care of yourself, right? 20 to 30 minutes of exercise a day, right? And this just simply just fill in those gaps that we all like, especially like need on man wise, okay, on the side of men, okay. Simply about, again, nowadays, because of the diet and like people sometimes not fully, I would say maybe appreciating themselves and really taking care of themselves in the right way on a daily basis, right? That everybody knows that ultimately will make you feel better. Whenever you take care of yourself, you feel way better, right? It's like even dress up nicely, right? You usually, like, if you dress up nice, you just have a bigger smile on your face and you want to take pictures and you want, so it's like how you take care of that, right? But if you sweat on sweatpants or you go pajama pants, you just, you are in a different mood. That's how we are. So it's about how we take care of ourselves. Then we can actually improve people's life, right? That it's going to be in the long run, and it's going to be something that it's a path that people actually have to take, and people actually have to realize, right? And we just want to also, like, especially anytime that we talk about this, like, come across as that. That there is a movement and there is a message behind it. That is not just a singular product, but it's everything that goes around that. So yeah, that's ultimately our, also part of our mission, you know.
I love the concept of having it be natural, having it be organic first and foremost, and then having it be somewhere where the two of you come from resources that exemplify that day in and day out. So to me, I actually believe that the product is this way because I see you two living a lifestyle this way. So that means a lot to me as a customer wanting to support this company, you know? So I'm like, this is great. But the other thing that I'm wanting to ask is the future for Organic Labs, and what you guys are looking to have come out is other products, because I know that yes, testosterone is a very important supplement, but there's so many other things that we need to fill in the gaps with. So please help me learn what is to come with Organic Labs.
Yes, of course. Very exciting stuff. So our first goal is to expand, to get this message out, to get organic angio in the hands of as many men as possible and as many women as possible that need it, that have high stress, that have low testosterone, that may have erectile dysfunction. We want to get it out to those people as soon as possible, and we want to get it in gyms. We want to get in the places where people could use an edge. You know, we want to be in the Olympics. And this is not a performance enhancing drug. It's not a PED. You cannot pop for this. This is organic ingredients, USDA organic approved. You can't pop for anything. And yes, it will give you an edge. So we want to expand with this. We want to be in Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and a lot of different nutrition shops. And what we're doing is we're opening that up to affiliate partnerships. So that's really what's next for us at present. So we're currently in Pacific Wellness Chiropractic in PB. Dr. Connor Quinn, he's carrying organic andro and recommending it to his patients that may have, you know, high stress or post-traumatic stress. He's recommending it to his veteran patients that have issues with sleep and anxiety and depression. And so it can really help alleviate some of those things and bring them down. So our first goal is really expansion, brand awareness, of course, you know, but we're not so much concerned with the brand awareness. We want to get this out there to help people. We want to get this out there to help people as soon as possible. And then after that, we do have some other products, and I do have one specifically for women, just for women. And I won't say too much about it, but it's going to be a daily for women. And you ladies are a bit more complex than us men with your hormone profiles, but we still have the same hormones. So I've been tweaking things. The product for women is not done just yet, but the next product that we have come out, I promised it will be for women. It's going to be enlightening, and it will help women get a lot of gains, and not only in the gym. It'll also help them with sleep, and it will also help them with energy. And I'm very excited for it. But it's not ready just yet. But it's in the makings.
I'm excited for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Please, Leo, I'm like, tell me more.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
No, we're on my end, like I'm just looking forward to obviously like spread it out as much as we can. Right now, obviously our main focus is California, right? You start from where you are and then you start like moving out, right? And we want to be all over the country. Obviously, again, I'm from Europe, so most likely in Europe as well, right? Being an organic product, we're one of the few companies, like in general, and as of now, the only supplement company that is USDA approved or that has a test booster that is USDA approved. So it's really easy to move across different countries as well, just because of the quality of ingredients and the standards that we set, right? So also for ourselves, it's truly like just raising the bar and raising awareness, right? So like whenever you raise awareness, obviously you're educating the market, you're educating the person that can help and you're speaking to,
Mhm.
and then raising the bar just simply on just the quality of products, right? I mean, ingredient matters, right? And we want that to be fully like understood for people that, as Gregor mentioned, and myself as well, like until a couple of years ago, I didn't used to read the label behind the bottle, right? Just kind of like trust it blindly, right? You see the big bold writing up in the front, whatever it is that you buy at the store, and that's where you stick from.
On the back,
That's it.
warning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like just kind of like reading just the title of the book, and it's like, oh, it's got a nice cover, but you haven't even flipped it over to actually read a little bit behind it, right? Just a tiny bit, and obviously again, like that just comes down to like awareness, right? So we want to make the market aware. We want to make obviously any person that we're talking to aware, right? And then by that also like just raising the bar, and obviously like coming out with different products, different just expanding ourselves, right, is easier because we're building that trust. That comes back obviously to what we were talking earlier about sales and the exchange of values and anything that surrounds that. But usually people tend to trust family members, right? Sometimes blindly, right? But because there is a rapport and there is something that got built up throughout the years, right? So we truly want to come across the same way that someone is like, okay, well, I'm taking something from Organic Labs. I really know what's in it. I don't have to doubt if there is chemicals, if there are any pesticides, if there is anything that it can be harmful for me, right? But just ultimately, like just building that trust, and then when that is in place and that is completely solidified and established, then it's much easier to help and exchanging value with other people's. That is not just selling other products, right? But it just like this can help you, this can help somebody else, right? And you're just taking it because your friend recommended to you, because maybe your family member recommended to you, or because we're also a company of integrity, right? So when we stand behind those like principle, then it's much easier again to bring that awareness to people. So
Well said.
yeah,
And if I can add, I wanted to shout out to all those folks that are struggling with they're thinking about going on TRT, or they're thinking about, doing something a bit drastic, replacing versus supporting. I just want to tell them that you can do this. You can absolutely do this. Yes, you should get help. Yes, it's a process. And yes, it'll take some time and energy, but you can do it. And using myself as a success story, about 5 years ago, I had, I got out of the Marine Corps and I had some concerns about my health. And I started doing the right things. As Leo was saying, exercising, trying to prioritize sleep and eating organic food. And I did all of those core things first, but then I started taking the top three ingredients in organic andro, specifically ashwagandha, Tunget Ali, and tribulus. And after doing those things, which are just organic ingredients that I would stir into smoothies and just drink, which they don't taste good, by the way, by themselves, you can just eat the right things. My testosterone, my total testosterone, is a 1201 nanograms per deciliter. It's almost double what we're calling an average now for average men, around 5 to 700, 5 to 800, without taking any TRT, without injecting anything, without taking any performance enhancing drugs, just by eating right, prioritizing sleep, and exercising consistently, of course, not just going in and stopping, but consistently doing those things for years. I've finally achieved an optimal testosterone level for my body that my body has determined. I didn't determine how much is best for my body. My body determined what's optimal for it. And I've had nothing but positive benefits from that. I have great energy and motivation and drive every single day. And okay, motivation, motivation comes and goes. But drive and energy, I have never felt better than I feel today. And it's all because of just doing the things that we can do for free. The things that really matter, and it's not just going straight to a quick fix, as Leo said. Try to stay away from the quick fixes. You can do this by doing the hard choices and making them right now. Get better sleep tonight. Prepare for better sleep tonight. Eat right today for lunch or today for dinner. Don't wait, because you waiting is you prolonging, and it just doesn't make any sense. So I just wanted to say that you can do it. You don't need to start replacing your hormones or anything like that. Your body can do it. So have faith in your body because our bodies can heal almost anything.
Thank you, gentlemen. Where can everyone find you? What's your website? What's your social media stuff? Everything.
Yeah. Obviously, our website, organiclabsusa.com. There is a lot of informative stuff in there as well. Details about like the ingredients, the benefit, the studies that have been done on each singular like ingredients, right? So that is definitely like one of our biggest, like sources of giving out like informations. And then also our Instagram, organiclabs_USA. We post like a lot of content. There is a lot of also educational content, funny content as well. We try to make it fun. Living a daily your daily routine with a smile is much more enjoyable than not with a smile.
Yeah.
So we try to laugh and be positive every day. So that's ultimately again one of our biggest again platforms right now, and YouTube as well. So we're definitely try again to spread the word, reach out different people, and especially like in many different ways. That again can be like funny way, educational way, informative. Sometimes we bring up some stats of like kind of where market is sitting like nowadays as far as goes maybe with people having ED issues or these type of things, right? So it's really again informative and educational. So it's not just obviously about selling organic hydro, it's, as we mentioned earlier, everything that goes around it. So again, organiclabsusa.com or our Instagram page.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jonathan, for being on the show. It's such a pleasure. I'm so happy to have you both.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure is ours. Thank you, Brianna.